Alrighty, family. So we are live. Oh boy. So I didn't connect it all together. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. You can tell I haven't been doing this for a minute, right? Usually I'm on here every single day, doing the lives, doing all the things, and I haven't been on here, so I kind of forgot to share the screen. But that's okay because I also want to get this on YouTube, on Instagram to get it going. So here we go. Take two.
You can
Boom.
get through that. You can get through anything. Okay? And at that moment, I knew my life would change forever. Hello, how you doing? Yes. Can we all just stand up really quick? Because you've been sitting for me. Can we all stand up, move our legs around? I am Tina. Otherwise...
Meet Tina, stars Tina Wilson, a beacon of hope and transformation for women over 40. As a licensed life and health coach, Tina specializes in empowering those who have faced life's toughest challenges.
Here's the edge of their seat. So when someone says, Tina, how do you do? I'm going to say, I have them at the edge of their seat.
Drawing from her personal triumphs over tragedy, Tina guides women on a transformative journey. Her unique approach is grounded in the 5 pillars of transformation: mindset, heart set, nutrition, fitness, and resilience. Tina's mind, body, and soul awakening program isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Through her online fitness boutique studio, she merges physical well-being with emotional growth. As an international motivational speaker, Tina's voice resonates across continents. She inspires and educates through her podcast, her dynamic presence on platforms like Clubhouse and Toastmasters International, and her compelling storytelling. Celebrating her latest achievement, the publication of her first book, No More Traumedy, Tina continues to leave a lasting mark in the art of transformation.
I said I need to make a book for anyone who's had some type of trauma or tragedy because there's no playlist. People don't like to talk about it. Remember, I was with my coach and I was like, well, this person's got a cool thing. They do motivation. They do finances. I talk about traumedy. That's not cute. He's like, Tina, you make traumedies look good. Yeah. I was like,
Stars Tina Wilson, transforming lives by overcoming one traumedy at a time.
Hey, happy Sunday to you and also you. I am Stars Tina. Super excited to be here on this Sunday with you. So, if you were here last week, you heard me talk about this 8-week program that I'm going to be doing regarding the chakra series. And we are going to talk about that. But first, I wanted to just dive into something a little more personal, a little more close to my heart. So, if you ever watch the news, I don't watch the news anymore. They have hold on a second, guys. Children! I need you to get out and be quiet, please. Thank you. Sorry, guys. It's real life. What can I say? Okay. So, what I was saying was, it's just all the things going on in my head. I just could not concentrate. If you're ever watching the news and they say news alert, news alert, news alert. Well, yesterday I got a huge news alert, news alert, news alert. So, if this is your first time watching me, I'm a life and health coach. Fitness is my passion. That's the foundation. That's what I'm grounded with about the movement. Everything with movement, because movement is what has supported me, empowered me, helped me get through all my traumas and tragedies. Put those 2 words together, you come up with the word traumedy. And a traumedy is when the energies of these 2 come together, life changes. It's absolutely horrible for some people. There are so many people living, but they're really not living. They're not enjoying life. They're not full of joy. They're not full of peace, love, and happiness. And you have to know what you need and what you want in your body so that you can live your best life, right? I already knew that the month of February is always challenging for me. 8 years ago, February 26th, will mark 8 years that my funny boy, 21-year-old Jamal Gaines, was murdered. And I know for February, I'm going to have up days, down days, all this sort of stuff. So I decided this year, I really, really wanted to dive into who I am. I wanted to go deeper into my faith because, again, those up and down roller coasters, that's how it was with my faith as well. And I just really wanted to just super hone in on that. So if you've seen my Instagram or Facebook post, you saw a picture of a beautiful lady. Her name is Emerald Lynn, or most of us know her as Dr. Emerald. And I had the pleasure of being a part of her life. She was one of my clients. And she wasn't a life client. She wasn't a health client. She was a doctor. So she knew all about her health, eating clean, all that great stuff. And her life was, from the outside, look, oh, she's got a great life, right? But she came to me for business. I do have a couple of business clients that I coach to bring them from where they are to, where they want to go in business. And I say this to say, I could see that something was a little off, but isn't something a little off with everybody in the world? Yes. And yesterday, I got a phone call from a mutual friend of ours, and she said that she passed away. She was no longer with us. And I was in total disbelief because this woman is young, and she had committed suicide. And when she said it, I was just total, just like shock. And I hear about trauma all the time. I hear about tragedies all the time. I'm kind of numb to it. I feel it, but I don't feel it, if that makes any sense. So I have two ladies I want to bring with me today that actually knew her and remembered her, because I just want to give a special moment here for anyone in the world who's going through something. And I'm going to pull these ladies in. I have my girl Trey, I have my girl Renee, and I think a lot of people, they are in silent suffering. And I just want to share the importance of just saying, I'm not okay. Maybe you give yourself a word. When my kids were younger, I mean, I guess I can say the words now because they're adults. My son's word was brown eyes, and no, my daughter's word was brown eyes, and my son's word was smile, smiley boy, or smile, something like that. So like when they were younger, I said, if someone comes to pick you up from school, ask them a secret word. And that was their secret word. And that was the thing we had. And maybe as humans, tell your friends, this is a secret word. Ice cream got no bones. That's what I would do sometimes if, after my traumedy and I'm with family and I know I want to go, instead of going through the whole, I gotta go, just give one word. And maybe you say that, like, I'm not doing too good, because they always say you want to check on your strong friends, right? Because no one checks on them. They're like, oh, you're good. And I must admit, I'm loving my community right now because Trey, Renee, so many people are reaching out to me. And I feel horrible for just putting them to voicemail. Everyone's going to voicemail, except for a couple of people, because I have to really guard this space around me. I realized this past weekend that I've got some special type of gift. I think I have to start embracing it. And someone said to me yesterday, they were like, Tina, do you feel that you can like see things for other people, like what they can do? And you guys may have heard me say this for years. I've been saying this, and I was just not really knowing what it was. I would say, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard. And then I'd say something. And then the person would actually do it. And now that I think about it, I'm not saying I'm psychic. I'm not saying I'm any of that stuff right there, but I see things in people that I know they can accomplish, and maybe they don't. I'm throwing it over to you, Trey, because I see you nodding your head. Chime in, give me your thoughts and comments, Mama.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Miss Tina. This woman is amazing. You guys follow her, go to her IG. You're going to learn so much every single day. You're going to feel supported. You're going to feel seen and heard. And that's what all of us need. And we don't know how to ask for it, most of us. And this beautiful woman, Dr. Emerald, I got to meet her in person. I was able to connect with her energy. She allowed me to work my magic. You guys, Trey Urban here. I am your energy alchemist. I was paralyzed in a car accident and learned about energy in a way that people don't understand. I am now able to walk, but I had to learn about healing and about the damage not caring for self does for yourself. And what I knew about this beautiful queen, Dr. Emerald, is she loved everybody. The thing that everyone says, she showed up for me. She showed up for me. She poured into me. She poured into me. Guess who she didn't pour into? Herself. And that was her message that I had given her, that she could give herself permission to put herself on the list. Because if she didn't, destruction, like self-destruction, happens, because you have to. And when you pour everything you have into everybody else, there's no replenishment. So I'm so excited for this topic, Queen. Thank you, Miss Tina.
Trey, can we just stay on that topic for a hot second? I see Stacy here on Instagram. Welcome, Stacy. I see you, Joyce. About people who don't take time for themselves, because Moms do this a lot. Women do this a lot. Single moms. Like I was a single mom and I was like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. But, and here's another topic I want to talk about, Trey. We may not even get into the chakras today. Broken heart syndrome. Has anyone, just type in the chat if you've ever heard of that. I went to a conference this past weekend. It was a worship conference and they were talking about broken heart syndrome. It's a real thing. Now,
It's a real thing.
I actually know someone who passed away from this. She had 2 children. Her 2 children were murdered. And then like a month later, she died. They say if you think of seniors, like when one person dies, someone who's married for like a long time, a few months later, they die. And in this demonstration I saw yesterday, they had a picture of the heart. And and I'm going to do more research on this. So when I come back with my details, watch out, world. But they were showing a picture of the heart and the different, I'm not a nurse, so just let's say aorta, all that stuff or whatever. And they were saying it was a certain section of the heart when your heart is broken that the blood doesn't pump there, and eventually you die. Stress, anxiety. So broken heart syndrome is super deep. Like you were talking about the energies. I saw you nodding your head. Talk to me. So I want you to share with some people because for me, I don't have any kids now that I take care of. I'm not going to say I don't have children. I need quiet. My niece and her friends are just like doing the most. But anyway, I just said I don't have kids, right? Here I am watching the kids. But Trey, can you share some things that people can do when they say they don't have time to take care of themselves?
Yes. So first and foremost, I'm giving you permission right now to put yourself on the list. For me, I wasn't on the list either. I had 3 kids. I now have 6 grandkids and 3 great grandkids. I have custody of an 11-year-old in here that I'm navigating a whole situation, right? Parenting. And what we do is we're like, oh, we're so busy with our lists. So y'all, put yourself somewhere on the list. I had to start somewhere, right? And get yourself on the list, because what happens when you don't allow yourself to be on the list, you're not getting your needs met. And most of us were like, well, I don't have any needs. I'm just happy feeding my kids and yes, we all have needs and we have desires and we have wants. Whether or not we allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to recognize it, to perceive it, to go inside and say, is this why I'm feeling so sad? I need a hug. I need a hug. I need somebody to give me a break for one day. Whatever, right? Because we feel like we're weak, all these things, and that's how we slowly kill ourselves. We will drown in our own anguish, because how we replenish and refill and create the chemistry in our actual body is by being excited and by being joyful and hopeful. And so if you aren't hoping for something exciting, your body isn't allowed to create the chemistry and the chemicals that have the potential to heal the broken heart, to create the resilience so that it could start going, well, maybe I'll beat a little bit. Maybe I'll start a little bit from there. Then it could start building the momentum.
Yep. What I want to add to that, Trey, is I think what happens, I'm a part of the Breakfast with Champions community. I love them, like cook food on a Thanksgiving day.
Oh my God.
I found last year I created a lot of momentum. I did a lot of things in my business, and it was because the people I was around. And I'm like always go, 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 go. And I think what happens is some people will compare themselves to other people. Like some people will look at me and they'll say, oh, well, she did this, blah, blah, blah. But you don't know what I've gone through. You don't know the work that I've done. I've done endless. And like today, for example, I've gone to church 4 times today. Okay. One on my own when I was reading my own Bible. Then I went to Agape. Then I went to Evolution. Then I went to one. I forget the name of it. It's in LA. My daughter gave it to me. So it's just pouring into myself all these different things for self-care. And right now, before we pass it over to Renee, we're going to take 1 minute and we're just going to do one simple breath exercise. I want you, wherever you're sitting or standing, just sit nice and tall, roll your shoulders up, back, down, and around. Maybe give yourself a nice little head roll. See, this doesn't even take that long. Breath work is so important. I want us to just inhale through your nose, open your mouth side out. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to do lion's breath. You're opening your mouth. You're sticking out your tongue. You're inhaling love, peace, happiness, joy, chocolate ice cream. I don't care. Whatever makes you feel good. And then you're going to exhale anything that's not feeling right. You want to get rid of that tension in your neck. Maybe you want to get rid of that tension in your heart. So all together now, let's go one nice deep cleansing. Inhale. Open your mouth side out. Very long pregnant pause. If you can hear my mother in the background, I do apologize. It's just life, right? Sometimes you're going to have those distractions in the background and you have to tune them out. Sometimes you have to tune out people, you have to tune out places and just tune into yourself. Right now, I want us to focus like you have binoculars. What type of life do you want? Do you want a life of misery? No, nobody wants a miserable life, right? 8 years ago, it's coming up on 8 years, when my son was murdered, I'm standing outside the shop and the police officer says, "I'm sorry, miss, your son is dead." All right. She said that. It's a fact. Boom. When I got that information yesterday, boom. I mean, it took a little while for it to whelp up in my heart. Like, I've been crying for 3 days now, various reasons. We're not getting into that. But you have to make a decision. Do I want to be happy and have a wonderful, joyous life? Or do I want to be miserable and negative? There's no in between. It's like saying, well, I'm kind of pregnant. Either you're pregnant or you're not. There's no in between. You know what I mean? It's either yes or no, black or white. Forget that gray stuff. So if you want to be happy, if you want a joyous life, make a decision. There's 3 things. Someone actually told me this the other day. One is make a decision. Yes or no. Once you make that decision, you decide and then move towards it. So if you're just hopping in right now, we are remembering the beautiful Dr. Emerald. If I had to sum her up in one word, it would be love, joy, light. She wanted to make everybody happy. And like you said, Trey, when I first started talking with her, there's lots of communities out there. When I began in the Clubhouse arena, I was a part of everything. I was in the Mom Link. I was in Global Warriors. I was in everything. It's good, right? You have the positivity from that person, and we all have different personalities, right? This person's got that personality, and you're like here, and you're there, and you're loving it. But guess what? Get tired, right? And she actually asked me, because I said to her, "Girl, I did the same thing. You gotta slow down." And she said, "How?" Sometimes people don't know how to slow down. They don't know how to back away. And I said, "Girl, just stop showing up. Stop showing up. And you don't even have to explain why." Hi, Natalie. That's my sister. Oh, her and my mother are twins right now. I wish they could come over. They got the little, I don't know that rapper's name with the 4 braids. But anyway, you don't have to explain to people why you don't want to show up. You don't have to explain to people why you don't want them standing in your face and you're doing a live and they're making all this excuse. You just want them to move away. All right, Renee, because I see Emerald's ready to go. Start pouring in.
Yes. So first of all, I think we all agree Dr. Emerald was like a ray of light. And the thing that stands out to me about her, because I did have the chance to meet her, is her love for her daughter. She exuded that joy. For you made a reference earlier. You didn't know if you were psychic or that conversation. I have always said, you have a vision. You're like an energy that cannot be learned or taught. It's like a gift from God that you have, that you can see into people's souls, and that you use that to bring out the best in people. So I wanted to say that. And the broken heart, I never knew until yesterday that it was called a syndrome, but I have always believed that you can die from a broken heart. And there were times in my past that I did think I was going to die, but I'm
hearing a song in my head right now. You saw the best in me. Mm-hmm. That song, I don't know who sings it, but you saw the best in me. And everyone, I don't care who it is, has greatness in them. Yesterday, Trey, when I was at this worship conference, this woman hugged me, and they actually said patty cake today in one of the services. They're like, "Tina, you're playing patty cake with God." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't say that in my mind. I said, I do a lot of talking in my head, family. She's like, "You're playing patty cake with God." She's like, "Yesterday when you held my hands and I said, hug God. God's arms are open. He wants to take care of you. You're playing patty cake. You're afraid to hug him. You're afraid to get close to him because you think you're going to get hurt again." This woman never met me in her life. I'm like, what is going on? She's like, "He's not going to hurt you. He loves you." She's like, hug him and embrace him. And I think that's the piece I was missing, Trey. I wrote the book, The 8 Years of Me Healing. I thought I was good. I was like, hey, I wasn't that happy about it, but I was like, I've got this traumedy thing down pat. But this weekend, I realized I was still angry with God for taking my son. I was still angry with my dad for God for taking my dad. God didn't do all those things, but I was just angry and mad. But I lied to myself saying, I'm okay. I'm not mad at you. I love you, because it sounds bad, right? To say you're angry at God. So I faced it. And that's what we have to do in life. We have to face the hard stuff, the real stuff. And the
Yeah.
second thing I realized, Trey, and we had a conversation about this, and make sure you tap into Trey, guys, if you want that energy reading. Men, I say was because I no longer am. The conference I went to this weekend was called Broken to Beloved. And when I saw the title, I was like, broken. No one wants to say they're broken, right? And they started with this puzzle piece. It was a heart, and they had all these little pieces in it. And when we're born, we have this pure, wonderful heart, right? But then our heart crumbles into all these little pieces: abuse, anxiety, depression, molestation, rape, death, all these things, right? And then you just have to just give it over to God. And for years, I've been not putting it all over to God because I've just been scared and nervous. And with that being said, I'm going to pause and let Trey or Renee continue, because this is all about Dr. Emerald. It's not me. It's for you, and I like to turn any negative situation and turn it around. And for me, what I got out of this, Trey, is to be more empathetic, to be more compassionate. But I already knew that, because for years, this was a hard thing for me, because when, she was with us, December was probably the last time I had a conversation with her. And it was all text after that, because I'm the texting queen. But my clients, they get to talk to me, Trey, or like you, they get to actually hear my voice, see my face. So we talk all the time. And then she said, she had vertigo, she was sick. And then it was just like text back, and we were texting back and forth. And then she just pretty much said she wanted to take some time off. And I didn't say anything. I left it alone, because I'm that person. I'm not going to force you to be around me. I'm not going to say, please stay, please work with me. No, I got enough stress in my life. I don't need any added stress. I'm not going to beg you. So I just assumed that she wanted her space. And now I realize that for me, I was a little bit, this is hard to say, but I'm going to say it. I was a little angry, a little mad, a little upset that she left. I'm just like, why doesn't she want to be with us? We're amazing. We love her, blah, blah, blah. Thinking about Tina, thinking about me instead of thinking about her. And that's what I think we do in life. We think about ourselves instead of thinking about the other person. So what I've learned from this situation is to be extremely compassionate and think about that other person. What are they going through? Stop comparing your hurt to someone else's hurt. Broken heart syndrome. Man breaks your heart, you're like, da-dun-dun. Your mother dies, you're da-dun-dun. We have to have that patience. All right, I'm going to hush my mouth. Trey, would you like to continue, or Renee, before we get into the chakras a little bit?
I'm going to hop in just for a few seconds and hop on what you see. So I personally watched my aunt slowly deteriorate until she died. My cousin was brutally murdered at 18 by her boyfriend, and my auntie found her. And it was like she was never the same, right? I watched my grandparents do the same thing, be perfectly healthy. Like grandma, she could cater to a whole acre of land herself. She had like OG cranker things, to plow her own little things.
Cranker thing.
Girl was up at the crack until dawn, did the stuff. Went from that to 6 months later being deteriorated and let go after the loss of her husband. So I've watched it and known that logically that is not happen, but it's a real thing, because you guys, no matter what, the only thing we get to take with us is our feelings.
Yes.
How we think and feel. And so when we think and feel deeply, it's hard to navigate. And what I knew about that beautiful queen, just like these queens above me right now, is we are all empaths. We have this magical ability to feel and perceive other people's thoughts and emotions, and we act upon them. And this is where, like, for us, we always want to help people, even though they didn't ask. And this is where us people, healers, teachers, wisdom keepers, medicine people, we must be invited. And unless they're asking us, we honor and respect everybody's request, right? Or what they're asking or not asking, because we understand, or I believe that we're all here to be growing and learning and to make choice. That's our free will. The only free will we have is our choice.
Mhm.
We don't get to choose what happens to us, how it happens to us. We get to choose how we react and respond. And most of us were never given permission to, first of all, communicate, because we come from generations of being seen and not heard, of not being allowed to feel what we feel, being shut down at everything. Oh, girl, you don't need to cry. What you crying for? Right? All the things. So none of us were taught to really navigate our feelings. We were taught how to show up. So when you stop showing up and start giving yourself permission to go, but how is this making me feel? And that's what Dr. Emma was going, I know I'm feeling exhausted, but how do I not show up? And I want to go back to this how. How do we not show up? How do we start showing up for ourselves? And to me, the how is when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. How do you stop being sick and tired? Is by starting to assess yourself and starting to say, you know, am I making, is this decision making me happy? Is it bringing me joy? Because 100%, 80% of the decisions we make is not bringing us joy. We're trained to show up for people. We are trained
No.
from the moment we come in to say yes.
Yep.
We are not trained to ask ourselves, is this exciting to me? How is this making me feel? We're taught to be responsible. So when you start giving yourself permission to check yourself before you wreck yourself, then you start identifying the phone calls that are exciting. You start identifying, giving yourself permission to have distance from those that are not. Those little subtleties. Is this, and some people need the logical thing. So I ask myself, is this answer getting me closer to my goal? Because some people, they don't want to know about no feelings, no touchy feeling. That's fine. How do you work? Do you know how you work? Are you a mental person? Are you an emotional person? Like what, right? Discovering yourself gives you the tools to start advocating for yourself, start giving yourself permission to go, you know what, this doesn't excite me at all. And if it doesn't excite you, don't freaking do it. That's it. That's the key, is checking this. And it's always giving you the answers, and let go of the programming, because when you give yourself permission to say, maybe my parents didn't know everything. Maybe my parents didn't give me all the things. Maybe I didn't have all the best teachers. I don't know about you. Did you have the class about communication in school? I didn't have that class. Oh,
Raising kids, saving money.
Yep.
how to build relationships, how to healthy boundaries. Girl, so give yourself
It's
a
a lot.
freaking break to be you
It's a
right
lot.
now and lean in. Right?
Shay, I'm going to add on to that really quick. Two things that popped in my head when you said that. First of all is the no. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain why. And second, reach out. And if someone doesn't listen, keep reaching out, because the end of the year, someone who's close to me, I was just like, I'm not doing too well. And I said it numerous times. And when I say I'm not doing too well, it's just like, I could tell like I was starting to get off balance. And when I didn't get any response from that person, I reached out to another person. It's like, because people see all this and like, oh, Tina's great, she's amazing. Yes, she is great and amazing, but she has those days, she has those moments, So if you're feeling low, reach out to someone. I feel like I have low energy or something like that. Just share what you're doing. And maybe you're embarrassed, text it to the person or write a letter. We lost our Trey. I hope she gets to come back. Write a letter, journal about it, something like that. And I do want to say to Stacy, thank you so much for joining, Stacy. Stacy mentioned, and I see Michelle here. Stacy mentioned her mom passed away 4 years ago. And I'm here to tell you, there's many, many things that you can techniques that you can learn to push through these feelings, because the mind doesn't know the difference between today, yesterday, 4 years, 8 years ago. And, we can teach you how to get through this. I'm doing a program in March, but you have to realize that you are in control of what you say, think, and do. So super important. You guys want to chime in before we get out of here?
Yes. What I would say to piggyback on both of you guys is that's why we're so used to going and going and giving and giving and giving. We put blinders onto our own needs. So that is the importance of that circle of 5 who know you so well that can see you better than you can see your own self when you start to do that. You've done it with me before, that you've had to say you have to stop doing so many things because you person will end up running themselves in the ground and they're not serving themselves or anyone else when they do that.
I love it. I love it. So if you're watching this, we're going to dive into the chakras really quickly. Trey is an energy coach. I'm a life and health coach. So pretty much it's an 8-week series that we're doing. Last week was the first week. We talked all about the root chakra. This week we're talking about the sacral chakra. Before I get into the sacral chakra, Trey, can you explain what the chakras are? And like, so like, what is that?
So chakras are energy centers that power the pieces of our puzzles that help us make good decisions, have confidence, and depending on where they're at, like last week was the root chakra. That is like the foundation of your belief system, whether you love yourself, like all the things. And so this week we're talking about the sacral one. And this one, oh my gosh, you guys, this is where creativity, your reproduction, so many important things are. So chakras help your existence and your awareness so that you can know when you're harmonizing or not harmonizing. When you are not experiencing joy, it's because you're somewhere in your chakra. And if you can identify where, so for instance, if you're not talking or if you're not able to communicate, that's that throat chakra, right? So something's not spinning right, because normally we should be able to just communicate freely and openly with confidence and clarity.
I love it. I love it. So if you want to know about the root chakra, last week I did an entire series on it. We went over different poses. Today we're going over sacral. I'm going to give you my little notes on it. Sacral chakra is the second primary chakra located in the lower abdomen. I'm sure Trey will show you where that is. About 2 inches below the navel. It governs our emotions, creativity, pleasure, and relationships. When the sacral chakra is balanced, we experience a sense of well-being, emotional stability, and creativity. However, imbalances in this chakra can lead to issues such as emotional instability. And whenever like all over the place, that I'm like that a lot. Lack of creativity, a difficulty in forming healthy relationships. When I say healthy relationships, like, are you being mean to that person? Are you allowing people to be mean to you? Each chakra has a color associated with it. You see we're wearing orange today. Yes. So the primary color associated with this chakra is orange, and it represents warmth, creativity, and vitality. So I'm going to be wearing a lot of orange this week. I might be wearing this dress again. There's also different stones. If you notice, I wear bracelets all the time. It just keeps me grounded, so you can have the stone. There's also poses in yoga. Each day this week, I'll be doing a different pose, and that just kind of talks about the poses and that sort of stuff. Trey, if there's anything else you wanted to add about the sacral chakra, hi Ricky, go for it.
So, okay, if you guys ever see the chakra like charts or whatever, each chakra has like a different shape. And this chakra, you guys, it's the lotus. It's the lotus because it's a blossoming. And if any of you know about lotuses grow in the sludge, in the gookie, yes. But when they're allowed to blossom, they are the biggest, fullest, most beautiful flower ever. Right. So this is why it's key to understanding that how do you blossom in life, right? You feel confident, you feel so, and this is also the reproductive area. So people, if you're having issues with reproductive or your sensuality or your sexuality or confidence in all of those areas, you guys, this is where that comes from and stems from. And one of the core pieces of this, if it's not spinning right, because I believe our chakras, if spinning correctly, they could take some hits and maybe slow down, but if they are spinning in reverse, you're stuck. And this one, it manifests as fear. You are inferior fear of death, especially. So anything that is a new change, it's fear of death. It's fear. So if you're spinning in reverse, you're afraid of everything. You're afraid of making choices. You're afraid of showing up for yourself. You're afraid of advocating for yourself. You're afraid to be wrong. You're afraid, right? So key So are you being creative if you're fearful? No, because you have creative insecurity, right? You have all of these doubts and the withouts. So the reflection of a correctly spinning sacral is joyful, hopeful, creating, enthusiasm, confidence, sensual, sexual.
You know what I think is so wild, Trey, and for you guys to know, the reason why I have Trey on here, I'm going to say she's an expert because she's an energy coach. She does Reiki. She does all that sort of stuff. She does the sound baths, all that stuff. I'm just into yoga and I read and study a lot about chakras. So Trey, everything you just said about the sacral chakra, I've been good with, but after my son's trauma 8 years ago, the sexuality part of me was just like zero, null, nothing, and I would like get angry at my girlfriends for being so, I don't want to say sexual, but sensual, like all like wanting to, and I was just like, I was not there. I was not feeling that. And it's wild how, I'm much better now. That's why, we have our sexy Saturdays. And, I guess that particular chakra, my shape, it was spinning, but it was a little part of it that wasn't spinning so much because when it came to sexuality, I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want anyone to get close to me. So in this series this week, we're going to be going over different yoga poses. In a wonderful world, it's going to be 12 o'clock noon every day on YouTube. I'd love for you to join us, Trey. We're going to get off of here because we've been on here a long time. Do you want to close this out with anything, Trey, before we get out of here today?
Yes. So you guys, in order, if you want to help it spin correctly, one of the keys, one of the things that I say is the fastest, the quickest, the easiest is to get a sound bowl. Okay. And sound bowls, it's important that you find one like this, that looks hand beaten. You can see it looks like they banged it because this won't break if I drop it. The other ones that are really pretty, they'll break, they'll crack because they're manufactured by a machine and there's a whole different energy. So either way, something's better than anything. But you guys, there are keys to tones. So for instance, and I'm going to go back to last week because there was a odd thing with time zones, and so I missed it because I was in a wrong time zone. But it's really important. I'm going to go back to I'm going to add the information there so you could go back. So if you match tones with, so if you know you want it to heal some reproductive or sensuality or to get rid of your fear, then get a sound bowl, tone it. And what I suggest is that everything needs to be connected with that you use as a tool. If you want it to help empower and heal you, whether it's a drum, a feather, these things. So as people, we connect it with 3 dings. You connect it with the sun, and then the moon, and then yourself, right? And then that's where the people do the 3 to activate your bowl, right? And so you want to find a bowl, or if you got certain areas. This bowl is a D bowl, and then there's big, medium, and large, right? Depending on what you're wanting to clear, shift, or realign. So the tone that I want to leave you with for this sacral chakra, if you get a sound bowl, and so the lighter one, they all feel different. But if you get the D, a D tone is for the sacral. Okay. So that's what you want to get. And if you're not sure, you just ask the sound people when you go to get a sound bowl at a metaphysical store or a stone store. A lot of crystal shops, they'll carry these bowls, and you could just ask them, which bowl, can you give me a D bowl, or which bowl is for this chakra? And they'll know. And if not, you could just Google it. So I just wanted to have you, this is something that's quick and easy, and you start ringing it and you'll feel like the fear start to just shift,
I love
and
it.
you'll feel yourself empower. So get
I
to
love
it.
it. And if you're watching this and you're like, I don't have a bowl, you don't understand that. I'm gonna come in the house and get some pots. I'm gonna get some pots.
Or YouTube. YouTube is
but
the key to everything. YouTube will have, just Google.
Yes. And go at
Disney
your
sound
pace.
bowl.
Go at your pace, family. She's talking about a sound bowl. When I first started, I just went to the store and I got stones. And then I have this beautiful ring right here that has all the chakra colors in it. There's so many things. Maybe there's a ring, maybe there's a necklace. Go at your pace. There's incense, there's smells. We didn't even talk about oils today. There's just so much,
Your
to
fingers,
this whole.
your own fingers have magnetic. Just sit and spin it yourself. Because everything is already right here.
I love it. All right, family. So if you want to join our community, we have we start with our fitness classes called Shooting Stars Community. You can just click that link right there, join our tribe. Trey, I want her to talk about her event because she has an event coming up in April where she's recognized me. I'm getting an award. I'm so excited. I'll be doing my mind, body, and awakening class with her. That's going to have some yoga, stretch movings, and breath work and all that wonderful stuff. We are excited to be here to help your mind, body, and soul. Throwing it to you, Trey,
Thank
so
you
we can get out.
so much. So this event, you guys, if you want to tap in, get some more information, the link is EEE, like elephant, 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 2024.live. That's EEE 2024.live. And you'll get to see an amazing in-person 3-day event where we are gathering high vibrational people. We're motivating people, empowering people to help all of us come and network and reset and realign, teach and train. I attract trainers. I'm a trainer. I'm a teacher. Stars Tina is an amazing teacher trainer. This is what we do, and we attract other people like us. And what we like to do is learn and share and network and collaborate. And for me, the best support I could give myself is by giving myself permission to be around people like Stars Tina, who motivates me and encourages me and hugs me and helps me to know that I'm not the only one out here who's going through it. Right.
Yes,
So you
yes.
guys, this queen, that's why she's winning an excellence award. And I needed her to help start my days. So I am so grateful that she's going to help energize us on Saturday morning before we get into these 6 facilitators and these 2 keynote speakers, you guys, Tenji Collins and Stormy Wellington. If you guys don't know, oh my gosh, go to the website. But this amazing Stars Tina, that's why she's getting the Excellence Award, you guys, because she examples excellence. I strive to be like her. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be like you, even though I'm
You're
older
too
than her.
kind.
I'm
Stop
older than
it.
and I'm like, trust. She's an example you want to follow. And that's why I know that I continue to surround myself with people who hold me accountable and help me grow. So thank you, Queen.
Love you all. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. We will see you mañana around.